Welcome, world, to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. I am Reverend Sandy Rogers, and as the creator of this historic event, it is my pleasure to welcome you. We come together to bring you this historic event. We have practitioners, holistic practitioners. We have medical doctors. We have spiritual individuals. This event is so lovingly dedicated to my mother, Mrs. Barbara Dean Brown. And my mother taught me like 40 plus years ago about the importance and the meaning behind herbs. And she would always say, we don't know what they putting in those pills, so you better not, get hooked on prescription drugs. And so we listened to Mom, but not all of us paid attention. My sister, bless her heart, was diagnosed recently thereafter with asthma, and she was prescribed prednisone, which is a very powerful steroid. And my sister actually got hooked on steroids, like someone out on the street kind of hooked, like on heroin or crack or something like that. And so my mom and my sister are both on the other side, living in the other dimension, but they're upholding me, and this is dedicated to their memory. So we don't want to come and make you change your mind about what you're doing. We just want to provide information to you, something different, so that you have options to choose from, so that you're not stuck. Because the environment that we now live in, the fast foods, the toxins in the air that we breathe and in the water that we drink, and the processed foods, and all of that is causing havoc on this precious body temple. So God created our bodies to heal themselves, but they can only heal themselves when they're fed and they're nourished and they're stress-free. And so the 60 or so or more experts that we have are bringing you this worldwide wellness movement in an attempt to share their testimonies and their information with you. So we have from age 14 on up. I don't even know what the oldest age is. I think 88 or something. So you see, that's a wide range of knowledge that we're bringing you. And so we hope that you come and that you get all the knowledge that you need to affect a positive change on your life, and share this with others. It's free, it's online, and so we're just so thankful that you decided to be a part of our listening community, the viewing community, and we certainly appreciate you for giving us your time of day and your energy and your efforts to being with us and to being a part of this historic event. We have pulled together people of color for you, by you, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that we too, melanated people with color, can enjoy, practice, and participate in some of these modalities that others have been doing for centuries, and that is pretty new to our community. So we talk about Qigong, we talk about meditation, yoga, spiritual work from a different perspective than religion. So we talk about the spirituality aspect. We talk about abuse in the families. We talk about all kinds of subjects because we know that in our communities there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we never talk about that's causing a negative effect on our bodies and its healing process. So we address it, whatever it is, and we hope that you will benefit from the many experts that we have, and that you walk away with lots of knowledge and lots of new information, and that you become fully empowered to share information with others. So thank you for being with us. We love you and we bless you, and we look forward to doing this again. But thanks for being here with the first one. We appreciate you.
Love and wellness. Life, love and wellness.
I'm William Saafir, and Sandy introduced me as Imam William Saafir. I've been blessed for years to have a deep concern on elevating the quality of life among human beings in general, but in particular on family life, because that's where the quality of life for us is formed. So that's been my focus. As the Creator would have it, I had a strong base that developed a real intense desire for change, in particular among the African American people, because growing up in a community that had a reputation, I guess, the best description, or had a perception of itself that was pretty much given not only by people who lived there in terms of how they looked at themselves, but how they were influenced by media, by society at large, by the institutional racism that was apparent back when I was a child, back in the 50s and the 60s. In Watts, California, the southern part of California, in the south central section of Los Angeles. That environment gave me this intense desire to see change, to see the quality of life elevated, and that has followed me from the early 60s when I was 12, 13 years old, all the way up till today.
Well, thank you for that. And how long in what you're doing, you said since you were a teenager, and so you spoke about where you came from. So during that time frame, did you institute any type of activities within your community to impact what you were feeling was the energy of the community?
Yes, as a matter of fact, not only did we live in that part of the world that had become the focal point for poverty, for oppression. It had shifted from back in the 20s and 30s and 40s, even in the 50s. It shifted from Harlem, back on the East Coast. It had shifted to the West Coast, out there to Watts, and so we became what exemplified in most people's minds and hearts were the lowest part of humanity. That's how we saw ourselves, and that's how people perceived our condition was. So it pressed upon my mind and heart so much as a youngster that I felt compelled to do something. I looked at the civic leaders. I didn't see any action taking, any effective action taking place. I looked at the civil rights leaders. I didn't see anything. I saw some movement maybe in the southern states, but nothing on the West Coast, nothing in Watts. I saw some talk about education and how politics might impact our lives, but we didn't see any results of any of that. And that pressed upon me so much that I said, we have to do something. So I started talking to members of my family, to some of my friends that I had grown up with, and we eventually formed an organization that became known as the Student Committee for Improvement in Watts. Still with no real sense of direction in terms of what to do, we just took our immediate environment and said, well, we can improve that. So we started picking up paper, we started cleaning lots, we started cleaning alleys, we started encouraging ourselves and our neighbors to keep the property up better. Eventually, we got to a point where we were actually painting houses, helping people improve their homes and in the neighborhood. And so, little by little, we actually began to take on every aspect of life that we could imagine, and finding some kind of way to direct our attention to it and commit to making it better.
So even as a young person, a preteen and a teenager, you saw a need in your community and you didn't let it overtake you. So it wasn't bigger than you. You knew that you could make a difference. And so I want the younger people particularly to get the message that if you see it, you can do something about it. If your intention is set.
Yes, and I think we were moved from a deep place within, just being disturbed, in our soul, and I think that just gave us the motivation, the inspiration, the drive to get up and try and do something. So we responded to that, and I think that's what young people need to hear, that when they feel something very deep inside of themselves, that they should yield to it and respond to it, because it's something that's going to improve their quality of life, and they never know what kind of impact they'll have on others around them. And that's what happened to us. We started off, it was just a handful, maybe half a dozen of us that started off, and at our height, 2 or 3 years later, we were between 200 and 300 strong, and we grew, and with that kind of support, not only from our peers but also from the community at large. And whereas some adults saw fit to look at us and try to convince some of us that the task that we set up to take was too big for us. We were too young and too inexperienced to not to yield to that. Mm-hmm. And we just started doing things, and the more we did, the more we saw that could be done, and we started growing. So I think that's the message, if anything, that we could share with young people now, it would be that when you feel something strong inside of you, respond to it. And the guidance for what you need to do is inside of that. So all that you need to do what needs to be done is inside of you. All the guidance that you need in order to carry it out is also inside of you. So it's a matter of responding to that inner guidance system that all of us have. Again, young people have a tendency, especially when they're real young, when they're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, then they really do it without thinking about it. As they start getting a little bit older, into their teens, they started kind of doubting and they started yielding to the naysayers, the soothsayers, whatever you call them, those people that make a habit of focusing on what can't be done as opposed to what can be done. And they start yielding to that more. But if we will just allow ourselves to be all that we are at any moment in our life, and just go there, yield to that strength that's in you, and respond to it, and you'll be surprised what you can accomplish in your life.
Excellent point. So you have coined a term called the excellence of humanity, and I believe that's what you're speaking about now. So can you tell us about what's your vision behind that term, the excellence of humanity?
Yes. If anything, that's this force that I've been referring to already. It's if you look at creation, you can look at, I like to point, there's talk about the birds and the bees, when we reach a certain age. and responsible parents to have that conversation with their children about life and what's ahead of them, developing family and what have you. But if you look at the birds, the bees, you look at creation, you look at plants, animals, minerals, anywhere throughout creation, and you examine that life, it has in its very foundation, in its base, in its fundamental structure, it has in it a guidance system. It has a nature that defines what it is or what it was designed to do, and that's what I'm referring to when I talk about human excellence. It's what we are as creatures. We have demonstrated, by we I mean humanity, human beings, we have demonstrated that there's no other creature living. There's a lot of talk about Martians and creatures or beings from other parts of the universe, but we have no evidence of that. I mean, we talk about it, and it's good for stirring, your imagination, your creativity. But from what we are actually have witnessed and evidence, we're it. In terms of in this creation, there's nothing greater than the human mind, the human spirit, the human soul, in terms of being able to take it, to make use of everything else in creation. We can make use, as powerful as the sun is, we can utilize the sun. The sun can't utilize us. As powerful as rain and wind and snow and water, we can utilize those things. We can utilize energy, but it can't utilize us. So there's something about this fundamental nature of the human being that's distinct, that's a wonderful, that's powerful, and that is right in accord with the designer, whatever you want to call that designer. If you want to call it God, if you want to call it the creator, if you want to call it universe, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to call whatever it is that design, the human essence, did so in a very wonderful way, in a very magnificent way. And that thing, that's what I'm referring to as human excellence. And so if we will yield, what came to mind is this recent movie that's come out, Black Panther. And I saw it just a few days ago, and I couldn't help but think how these superpowers, these superhumans are put before us as entertainment and stir up our imagination. And many young people want to see themselves as these. Now, human excellence is something that defines us. It describes who we are, what our purpose is, what our natural expression is, what our natural growth pattern is. It's all in that thing that I'm calling human excellence. It's the intent of the Creator that created us, that gave us a particular design and a pattern for living, a pattern for even being. That's what I'm talking about. And this intelligence that designed this whole universe, when it got to the highest part of the universe, the human being, the human nature, when this very all-wise force, this power, designed us, I'm sure it didn't make a mistake. And that's the false notion that's been perpetuated from the beginning of time, that somehow this all-wise creator made a mistake when the creator got to create this human being and created something that could not follow its own excellent nature. And I don't buy that. The whole notion of us being born in sin, which means that we are born to go against our nature. To me, that doesn't, something's wrong with that concept. And so that's why I always like to go back. Now, if I can control you and let you think that there's something wrong with you, that you are a mistake, that you are a mishap, that I design you to be one thing, but you're anything and everything but that. And so you're just a disappointment to me. I'm your creator, but you're a disappointment to me. If I can get you to buy that, then you will never be able to rise to your true potential. But I'm doing it. I'm becoming richer and richer and richer, and you're being stuck becoming poor and poor and poor because you're not in touch with this thing I'm calling human excellence. So that's so important for us to be able to identify that, to be able to yield to that, to be able to honor that, to be able to build on that. We have an obligation to, and I think our own soul obligates us to acknowledge the best that's in us. And no matter what anybody else says, that we should honor and trust the best that's in us. And as we show this trust, another word for trust is faith now. So not only do we have this trust and faith in the Creator who created us, but in ourselves. And if we show this trust for what's in us, if we trust it, then it will open itself to us, and it will reveal itself to us, and it will serve as guidance for us from within ourselves. So we don't have to go to somebody else, be it Hollywood, what we've known as the world. It'll be thinking outside of the box. Outside of the box because we're not conditioned to trust ourselves. We're conditioned to only trust what somebody else is, the expert over there. That doesn't look like us most of the time. That doesn't think like us most of the time. To trust that, not yourself. But the way we were able to get some traction back in Watts in the early 60s, with the Student Committee for Improvement in Watts, a bunch of kids was able to make some serious moves and in the most neglected part of the world, Watts, California. We were able to not only begin to, and within a matter of months and a few years, not only were we beginning to turn the tide in terms of us acknowledging and respecting ourselves and our own self-worth, we beginning to stir even some of the adult members of our community, the residents, the political leaders, the religious leaders. They have to think another time about the possibilities coming up out of this neglected part of the world. Why? Because we, without knowing, we were guided to begin to trust ourselves, our own intuition, our own inclination, our own human excellence. And as we began to respond to that, we were able to get support and start moving in a direction that was coming up on of our own intellect, our own imagination, our own drive. And that's success.